Part of the escapade of chasing efficiency is trying out new ways. Some of these different ways are going to be unusual and therefore weird. Welcoming weird ways has been an essential tool for me in my quest for efficiency. In 2008, I installed some photovoltaic panels on the roof of my garage. In this video, I'm going to talk about a weird habit that I like to practice, the sweeping the snow from my solar panels. Sweeping snow from solar panels is not a strange thing to do for the folks that are off the grid. For them, a day without generation can mean noisy generator time or living without power. So there's incentive there. But those of us that are grid tied, we're not going to run out of power. So it's kind of a strange thing to do. After all, just allowing the sun to melt that snow, that's a pretty nice, simple, elegant way of using solar power. And that's a sensible thing to do.
However, for whatever the reason, that is not me. I'll be balancing on my pitched roof in the slipperiest weather, pushing the snow off the panels. The job of sweeping the panels takes between 4 minutes and half an hour, depending upon the conditions. A few months back, we received a heavy spring snow that took almost a half an hour for me to sweep.
What effect did my sweeping have? Was this worth my while? To answer this question, I'm going to look at 3 components: energy, carbon, and money. If I choose not to sweep the panels, there'll be no electricity generation happening for the day. Sweeping the panels will result in about 20 kilowatt hours of production given the clear sunny day.
What is 20 kilowatt hours? What can you do with 20 kilowatt hours? With 20 kilowatt hours, you can light up things. You could run a 100-watt incandescent bulb for 200 hours, or you could make the same amount of light 5 times longer by using LED technology. With 20 kilowatt hours, you could run an efficient laptop for 400 hours, or you could run a fancy gaming computer for 40 hours. With 20 kilowatt hours, I could run my microwave or toaster for 20 hours, or a hairdryer for 10 hours, or a clothes dryer for 6 hours.
Looking at bigger things, I could provide an average house all of its power needs for 3/4 of a day. Or I could provide an exceptionally efficient house all of its power needs for 5 days. That's a pretty big difference. And this is why efficiency excites me so much. There's just so much potential to be tapped.
Looking at transportation, with 20 kilowatt hours, I can drive my Kia Niro EV for 90 miles or my e-bike for 1,500 miles. Another huge difference.
It's fun to compare the effort needed to sweep the snow from the panels with the assistance that I would get on a 1,500-mile e-bike ride. What an incredible exchange. Now let's look at this from a carbon perspective.
My utility company currently emits 1.3 pounds of CO2 per kilowatt hour generated. So my 20 kilowatt hours of production would result in a reduction of 26 pounds of CO2.
If I add on the electrical vehicle component and use the 20 kilowatt hours to drive 90 miles,
the reduction is 71 pounds compared to a gas vehicle that emits 0.79 pounds of CO2 per mile.
Actually, the amount would be more because here I'm ignoring the carbon emissions needed to refine the gas and get it to my tank. Let's look at this from a money standpoint. Let's imagine rather than having a PV system, I'm gonna hire a guy, Frank, to generate electricity for me.
He slaves away generating 100 watts for 200 hours in order to make 20 kilowatt hours. I'll pay him $12 an hour. This cost me $2,400.
So if I can sweep these panels in 28 minutes, it's like paying myself $5,000 an hour. Okay, I'll concede this is ridiculous. The going price for electricity is about 12 cents a kilowatt hour. So the reality is I'm saving myself $2.40. Actually, for me, it's considerably worse. Since my generation exceeds my consumption, I actually get paid wholesale price for excess generation, which is about a penny and a half per kilowatt hour. So I'm ahead for sweeping these panels about 3 cents.
But here's the thing. This ritual helps to connect me to the resources that sustain me. I've learned to value energy beyond cost per kilowatt hour. Energy is a gift from the sun. Why not appreciate every photon to the fullest? And what a great way to start the day, being outside, up before the sun. All is quiet, experiencing the texture of the newly fallen snow, each storm unique.
Feedback is most welcome. Subscribe if you want more. In your own way, turn towards the stuff that keeps you going.